You know, I hope this isn't going to take too long. I do have a plane to catch.
You no doubt have heard of the murder of Derek Flyball, the Husker baseball player?
Heard of it? Hell, I'm floored. I came here to recruit the kid, and now he's dead. It's not exactly what I want to go home and tell my bosses.
I understand you spoke with the victim on the day of his death.
Yeah, I talked to him right after the game. He seemed distracted, though, with all his fans flocking around.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice anything suspicious? Anyone near Derek?
Hell, he was surrounded. Anyone could have tried anything, hung around and followed him later. Hell, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I understand that you went and spoke with one of Derek's rivals.
Yeah, I talked to Herbie. I wanted to see if he'd help me convince Derek to join my team. The way I saw it, it would be a win-win situation for us both. Derek could come play for me, and Herbie would get another shot at the Husker team.
Did he seem interested?
Well, not really. Not interested in my offer, but maybe it got him thinking. Maybe he realized that with Derek out of the picture, he'd get another shot at playing for the Huskers. And then when I told him that Derek wasn't interested in my offer, maybe he decided to take matters into his own hands.
Interesting theory. So you think he did it?
Well, I'm not one to go butting my nose into a police investigation, but I'd say he had the motive. And with all those plants he's always working around, you know, it'd be real easy to get pollen on the victim's body. And that's the sort of thing that always happens on television, and it's just too bad he doesn't realize that you guys always get your man.
Well, this isn't TV. Well, I want to thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Shady, but don't go anywhere just yet. I may have a few more questions for you.
But I do have a plane to catch.
Well, you can catch another one. You see, you've spoken not only to the victim, but a suspect, Herbie Johnson. So why don't you just hang around here for a while? Why don't you just go back to your hotel room and relax?
Well, you're paying for my hotel room then.
I'll be in touch.
Here's a photo of the pollen we found on the victim's baseball uniform.
You know, some of these are so obviously different that even a fifth grader can figure it out. This one has indentations that this one doesn't. This one has spikes that this one doesn't.
Maybe we're on the wrong track. It might not have come from the greenhouse at all.
It has to be. We don't have much time left in this episode.
Good point. And after all, we do want it to all come out neat and tidy.
Wait a minute. I think we have a match.
And conveniently in the nick of time.
I think we need to go talk to Herbie again.
Hello again, Herbie.
Hey, look, I already told you all I know.
I know. I thought there might be something you might have forgotten.
No, that's everything.
Husker Rose, right?
Yeah, it's a crossbreed by Dr. Rose herself. Look, I'm really busy,
Herbie, being you're working with Dr. Rose, I'm sure you're aware of the reproductive processes that these flowers go through?
Yeah, pollen. Everyone knows that.
We found traces of Husker Rose pollen on Derek's baseball uniform. Since it's a crossbreed of an exotic plant, it's not going to be found in Nebraska. It's definitely not going to be found in a baseball field.
What? But that doesn't mean... I didn't kill him.
Sorry, kid.
Russ, what are you doing here? I thought you were questioning Nick Shady.
Well, I already did. He seemed to have it all figured out. Not that I pay much attention to a suspect's meandering, but he did confirm one solid point that Miss Mercury just said.
Which was?
Well, that Herbie here wasn't smart enough to cover his tracks. He got pollen on the victim. Pollen he could only get from working here. And besides, he had one of the strongest motives of anyone. You see, killing him may have given him another chance to get on the team.
But that isn't true. Yeah, I was mad that I didn't make the team, but I wouldn't kill over it.
This very pollen gave you away, Herbie.
Lieutenant, wait. How did Nick Shady know about that lead?
Well, what do you mean? That's one of the main theories you've been working from, Green.
Yes, but it wasn't publicized. Only the detectives and the crime scene investigators knew that the lead was the pollen.
Well, that means.
It means that the only person that could have known about the pollen was the murderer. And even though killers don't go around worrying about getting pollen on their jackets and transferring it to the victims, they'd be more likely to worry about leaving fingerprints or footprints behind.
Framed?
I think so.
Well, I'll be damned.
I told you.
Herbie, where was Mr. Shady standing when he came to visit you?
Here, by the Husker Rose. He kept complaining that the thorns kept getting snagged on his coat.
Good thing I told Shady not to leave town. I'll put a call in and have him picked up.
The proof?
I think if you check the Husker Rose, you're going to find fibers from his jacket that proves he was here. And my guess is that he got the pollen on his jacket intentionally, transferred it to the victim to frame Herbie.
Devious plan. Could have worked too if he hadn't made a slip about that pollen.
No, it's always the little things that get them in the end.
Welcome aboard, kid.
Oh, I won't let you down, Coach. I just wish it was under other circumstances.
You know, Derek was a good ball player, but he wasn't the only one. And anyway, he wouldn't have wanted the Huskers to win with him or without him. I know you'll come through for us.
Seems like a good kid, but he just needs encouragement. It'd be tough to follow in the footsteps of Derek Flyball.
Even though he wanted to make the team, I know he feels bad Derek's death is what it took to get him here. But the coach and the team seem really welcoming, like they really need him. I think he'll do okay.
So Ross was able to get a confession out of that Nick Shady guy, huh?
Shady denied it until Russ's men went through his luggage and found the jacket with the thorn snags. He had tried to wash the pollen out, but he forgot about the thorn marks. They were small but distinct, and they matched the double-barbed nature of the Husker Rose, which is a very unique plant.
He chose to collect pollen from the wrong plant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't realize the plants were experimental. He figured Herbie could get pollen from any of the plants in the greenhouse. When Russ confronted him with the overwhelming evidence against him, he knew his goose was cooked, and he made a full confession.
So why do you do it?
Well, the main reason was because Shady didn't like being told no. Derek had refused his offer, and he didn't want to go back to his university and say he'd failed. When Herbie also refused him, that made him even angrier. So he killed Derek. He framed Herbie, thus getting his revenge on both of them.
He knew where the team was going to celebrate, so after his unsuccessful conversation with Herbie at the greenhouse, he scoped out the restaurant and wait. He was planning on following Derek and killing him once he left the festivities. And he was ready. He had the gloves, the baseball bat, everything. It was just a matter of getting Derek alone.
Wow. Things some people will do. He was like a jilted lover. If I can't have him, no one can. Looks like he'll only be recruiting for the prison spongeball team now.
Just because spongeball is all you could play.
Yeah.
You know, I would have got away with it if it weren't for those meddling.
Nah, come on. Show's over. No, it really is.